Hello, hello. Welcome to the Dropping Dimes. We've got our second NBA Finals recap with my main man, Doug. We had to get Doug, who's got a bunch of Knicks fans in his life, back on the pod. Doug, say what's up.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Doug and I watched at a sports bar together, and let me tell you, when the Knicks won, everyone in the bar started celebrating. I think there was like two Spurs fans there, Doug, and everybody else was Knicks.
Yep, yep. It
Maybe
was crazy.
three. uh, yeah, it was fun. Everyone was very excited, and I'm sure it's nothing like up in New York City though, where they got the parade Thursday. Dog, you gonna go up there, man?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to see if I can make that up and back because I'm gonna have to go to work the next day. Might be able to.
Man,
I
that would
might
be
be
a
able
lot of
to get
fun, man. Maybe you need to call in sick.
if
Uh,
I party too hard. I might have to.
hopefully. Ooh, yeah. Congratulations again to New York. Congrats to your barber. Has he hit you up
Uh, no, I actually should have
since
called
the
him when
win?
they won, but now he gave me my haircut, so he was already on me. Talking about, some, yeah, you ready for us to win? I was like, listen, I don't know what to say, but he already trying to say that I'm a Knicks fan already too. So he tried to put me in that Knicks fan. I told him I said, the only person I'm cheering for is Brunson because he left-handed. That's it.
There you go. Yeah, and Brunson, oh my gosh, what a finals, man. Well deserved finals MVP. He's just like
Oh yeah,
this rare 6'1" guy to win a ring as the best player. He's kind of like, since Isaiah Thomas, basically the only one. But
yeah,
he's a lot bigger body than those guys.
yep.
But his moves around the rim,
It's very
just the way
difficult
he's getting
to
by
guard.
Wimby and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got so many moves. It's impressive.
yeah. He definitely figures it
He's
out.
yeah. What do you mean?
I was saying he figures out how to get around everybody that's guarding him too, because he done had multiple defenders from the point guard to Wimby. Like he's been breaking down everybody and getting everybody off the feet, or either if they're doing a lot of extra pressure on him, he's finding a way to get that foul on them when they're putting too much pressure on him. So he's figured it out with everybody. It's it's hard when you can isolate everybody and just break them down and just score at will from fade 3 pointers or either going to the hole.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between him and someone like a Chris Paul is Chris Paul would have trouble with taller defenders. Once you got a really like super 6'7" guy on you, just had trouble scoring. And I mean Brunson figured it out. Everyone, even my man Castle, he was scoring on at the end there. So
Yeah,
really
I
impressive.
feel yeah, but I feel like with Chris Paul, he wouldn't be the type of person to really try to go to the hole like that as much. And with Chris Paul, he's gonna look for the lob more than anything. That's what he's gonna do because he's a assist man. He's not a true scorer like Brunson. Brunson is a, a bona fide scorer. So with Chris Paul, he's more of a smart point guard that just loves to find the certain spots to score, but also find his teammates. So that's the only difference between them two. It make it hard though. But I would say more like him and Allen Iverson, Brunson and Allen Iverson kind of similar, but only difference is Allen Iverson is a little bit more aggressive and he's gonna take those fouls real hard because he likes to go reverse and he'll take it at the bigs because he definitely did it against Shaq multiple times, but Shaq wasn't gonna let him keep constantly doing that, so he's gonna foul him.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Doug. That's a good comparison. Like the guys like Chris Paul and Nash were more of pass first guys.
Hmm.
Chris Paul never goes to the hole, man. If you look at he has like less than a free throw per game, less than a one layup a game or something. He loves to do his little, get the guy on my back, 8, 10 foot shot,
Yeah.
weave it into the lane thing. But yeah, not as efficient as a layup. The comparison to AI is a good one. Yeah, very different body types. Brunson using a little more of that. I mean, I guess they're both sort of under the rim players, but Brunson kind of using crafty step back moves, and AI more using his quickness and his crossovers,
Mhm.
get through people. And AI never got it done in the championship at the NBA level, but he did have that one iconic win over the Lakers. And those
Yep.
Lakers were juggernauts. And AI's team not quite as good as this
Yeah,
Knicks
as the
team.
Lakers.
They had a lot of nobodies. This Knicks team is just really well put together. OG Anunoby, what a great man, worth every bit of his contract. Uh,
Mhm.
Even Cat really showed up. And then, of course, I mean, OG and Mikal Bridges, I think, two of the top 3 or 4,
Defenders.
3 and D guys in the league on
Yeah.
one team.
Yeah, definitely are.
And Josh Hart somehow, helps out, gets it done too. So
Does
really
everything. He
good
does
roster
everything for the
construction
team.
around Brunson.
Yep. Yep. And he sacrificed that money for his team for him to get a team built around him. That's the thing too. Took a discount.
Yeah, that's another amazing part. Yeah. Yeah, that shouldn't be understated. I mean, that helped build this team, get Mikal
Mhm.
Bridges on the roster. What
Right.
Yeah. But, the Knicks did have some trouble. So they had some trouble with scoring in first quarters on against this Spurs team. Well, and the Spurs just came off to these hot starts. What do you think that was a trend throughout the series? What do you think is the reason for that?
Uh, I mean, they I guess for the Knicks, they move slow because they're trying to figure out the opponent and figure out how they're gonna adjust to everything. Mike Brown's a good coach, so he I guess he's used to them, starting off not being as aggressive and trying too much, but he gets them to settle down and get them to understand where they got to go and what they need to do to how to get the game over, and especially with the rotation of the players. He has a deeper bench than what they had last year, so you know giving them time to rest and getting their stuff together too also helped out for them to come back because you know with the fact that he had a deeper bench to rotate, they were able to either score or either hold the defense, play defense well to keep them from scoring outrageous, like just blowing them out or anything. So they wouldn't have another game 4 situation. But they definitely learned how to adjust to everything when it came to that. But yeah, they always start off slow, and then fourth quarter, third quarter, they always make their comeback and get back in the game and they end up closing the game. So it's like with the Knicks, they just take advantage of all the mistakes that the Spurs young cats have done. Like those young guys they make mistakes and they take advantage of 'em. And that's what happens when you're older and you notice those mistakes. You got to take advantage of as quick as possible instead of just letting it you know just letting it go and not doing nothing about it.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, maybe and Mitch Johnson, was a young coach too. I think in part it's because their starting lineup, has Josh Hart, and the Spurs know how to attack that. I think that's part of it. I think another part is, yeah, the Spurs just come out with a lot of energy and they kind of lose that energy. And to your point, the Knicks are putting in more subs, giving their team a little more rest, and the Spurs weren't. And the Spurs were just getting tired at the end.
Hmm. Yep.
And then I think a third part to it is Brunson. I think he's not as aggressive in those first quarters, right? He
Right.
does the point guard thing where he lets his teammates eat, and then in the fourth quarter he really takes over. And
Right.
so, you know, I said that starting lineup doesn't work in the first quarter. Why? How does it work then in the fourth? Well, it works because Brunson is going full bore that,
Controlling it.
uh,
Yep.
and trying to score every shot,
Right.
every time down the floor. Yeah, but wow, what a what a just like butt whooping from the Knicks, like all playoffs long. Did you know they had the highest point differential ever in the playoffs?
Yeah. Yeah.
16-3, really epic run.
Yep, you gotta give it to Mike Brown. I mean, a lot of people say, Mike Brown got lucky in this, but you can't say he did get lucky because it's not the same roster as last year. Tom Thibodeau had didn't play a lot of players on his team. He played the most, probably 6 or 7 maybe, where Mike Brown, they end up making trades and adding other players on and a lot of veterans. that they needed. So, they he was able to get some veterans that would be able to play their role, play defense, or when they needed to, and help out. So, Mike Brown learned how to adjust with that, especially with him coming from Golden State. Golden State, he know how to do that with working with Kirk, and then he had his first playoff with the Spurs, not Spurs, with the Kings when they got their first run in the playoffs and they played against Golden State. So he gave Golden State a hard time with Fox. So it just makes sense for the coach to get his flowers to well deserved win in his first year. So you know it makes sense.
Yeah, and to your point, like, sometimes these bench guys, they don't always work out. They don't always have like the best shooting, like, sh- but if you're trying them out and using them, sometimes you can get some great shooting. Like Shamit was amazing earlier in the series. He fell off a little bit near the end. Only ended up actually 33% shooter, which is crazy given his hot start. But yeah, he's developing these players. Using them at different times. Alvarado in the at the end of that huge comeback in the fourth,
Hmm.
and Mitch Robinson has just had a huge final game.
Rebounds,
Pretty
rebound.
incredible playing that way with yeah 6 offensive boards,
Hmm.
all with like a broken pinky. Wow.
Doing it. He putting the heart on the line.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about this game, about the Knicks? I want to move over a little bit to the Spurs side of the ball, but if
Uh, No, I mean, like I said, just congratulations to the Knicks. Congratulations to my barber too.
congrats to Tuggs Barber. Now on the Spurs side of the ball, I think first of all, not I don't think enough is being made of the Spurs not shaking hands afterwards. Maybe this sounds old school or whatever, but like, sportsmanship,
Respect.
whatever, bro. Like after the game, show respect, go shake their hands. Way to go. You
Yep.
kicked our butts, you beat us. That's not cool. Apparently they did that with OKC too. Even after beating them, they didn't shake their hands.
Hmm. Yeah,
Nah, I'm not into that. Like you can fight, you can battle on the court, but
we're still friends
that's
at the
all just
end.
in
Like
part of the
it's all
game,
basketball.
and
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
Sometimes
it's just
it's weird
basketball.
how they do
Like
that. I don't understand that either because it's supposed to be sportsmanship. Like, but I guess I guess with them, they're not understanding that we all fighting for one thing, for the championship. Congratulations, but go ahead and win it, or either congratulations and wish you best of luck. Simple as that. That's all you gotta do. Dap up and keep it moving. Like, I mean, it's
yeah.
I don't know, it's kinda hard. And now the fact that you said that, that they didn't celebrate. I mean, I celebrate, but shake the hand and everything after the game. The Knicks, after they won, they celebrated and whatnot, but they started smoking the cigars in the stadium. And
Oh yeah.
somebody said something to him to myself, you can't smoke that it's not in this building. Somebody said, find me or find me. Like I was like, wow, y'all. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's their way of getting back with them since they didn't dap them up. It's like, well, since you didn't want to dap us up, we're gonna smoke in your building. Like we're gonna celebrate for real in your building because this is what we did
I don't
in
know.
your building.
Right, right. Yeah, they're the Kings, man. I don't know. I'll give it to him, man. He just won this NBA championship.
Yeah,
Well,
they
oh,
surprised
that's
the world, I believe.
interesting. You think it was actually like a kind of like a poke back at San Antonio, huh? For all the like
Yeah,
the funny music they play at the beginning of the game, and
yeah,
interesting, Doug. Well,
yeah,
they showed them after, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Makes me
It's
wanna
tough.
smoke a cigar. They probably had some sweet Cubans or something, though.
Probably. You
Mhm.
never know with them.
Speaking of Cuba, I heard there was already a parade down in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jordan Clarkson and Jose was at the party. They was at the parade. They was getting lit. They didn't know how to act since they won a championship. They was
Yeah, it
rocking.
looked like they were having
They still had the hats on and everything, showing everybody that they champions.
yeah, that's awesome. They're like, "Hey, we'll beat New York to the game and get our own parade quick."
Right.
Yeah, that's fun. I also want to say that speaking of the Spurs, Wimby stuck his foot underneath Brunson, bro. Like he tried to roll his ankle. Like it was
Yeah.
pretty clear and obvious to me. I mean, there's like
Yeah.
rule in the books for that, and I know you're afraid to give him the flagrant, but
Got to do
yeah,
it.
he just did it again, and that's a dirty ass play, and he should have been called for a flagrant for that. Yeah.
So that was when he shot that three, right? Wasn't it when he shot that three?
Yeah, as Brunson shot a three, and Wimby just he slid his big long leg, dude. He slid it under him.
Yeah.
It was kind of messed up, man.
Yeah. And they
Wimby,
didn't call a foul on.
yeah, Wimby's getting a little reputation there as a dirty player, man.
Yeah. I think that's is
I
when
don't know,
you know
man.
when you're
Dirty French players.
when you get frustrated and you're losing a lot. So that's what it is. I think when you lose a lot and you're not getting the way, getting your calls, you want to try to play dirty to try to win. It, I don't know, man. People do crazy things, but I feel like they did the
Yeah.
same, like not do the same thing, but like everybody was trying to get in Brunson's head and trying to hurt him and being aggressive to him. So it's like Wemby tried to be the one that really try to set it up for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was doing dirty he's been doing dirty stuff all playoffs. He's getting a reputation for it now. I don't know, man. I wonder if it's someone with French basketball players. I still remember when like Nick Batum in the Olympics like punched some guy in the nuts. You
Oh yeah,
remember that?
yeah. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, Rudy Gobert does play a little
He
bit
like
aggressive
just
too.
went over. That was messed up too.
Yeah.
Man, dirty French players. Well, what do you think the Knicks should be doing this offseason?
Uh, well, of course they can be partying, but I feel like they need to go ahead and try to get
Nope.
re-sign Robinson. They
Sorry, I
need to
mean the
re-sign
Spurs.
Robinson.
The Spurs. But what
Okay.
about the Spurs
Well,
though?
for the Spurs, I feel like for them, it's going to be more of a need now thing, as far as they're wanting to go back to the championship. They're probably going to need to go get a veteran, a true veteran that will help them. Um, I don't know if you said this before, or either maybe I heard it from somebody else about them getting Siakam from Indiana.
Oh, seriously? The Spurs getting Siakam?
No, no, I'm saying I heard somebody.
Oh
I
no,
can't
that's
remember if I
news to
talked to you
me.
about it, but if they could make a run to get a veteran like that, to help them out, because Siakam is a elite
Oh yeah,
scorer.
that would be a great one. Yeah, to get a
I feel
power
like that
forward,
would work out.
like a true
Yeah, that
power
would work out
forward.
for them. Yeah, but he can shoot. He can shoot and shoot outside and play inside. So it's not where it's just like how they got Champagne.
Right, right. You can still
It's
spread the
just a 3 point.
floor.
Yeah, yeah, it will work for him.
You're
I
right.
feel
I think
like
we
it will
were
work
talking
for
about
him.
that, but I mean, that's a pie in the sky. I don't. Indiana would never let him go, and Indiana doesn't need like a Fox point guard. They already got a point guard.
Yeah,
I think the Spurs got to try and get rid of Fox probably, but man, his contract. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like
it's big.
4 more years or like 200 some million. It's gonna be
I think it was
tough.
250. I think it's 250 on his contract because he got
250.
the max.
Holy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's gonna
but
get paid like 60 some 70
yeah,
million.
unless only thing I could think of if the Spurs decide to, talk to Fox on restructuring his contract and try to get it down to help them add another piece to the team. I could see
That
that.
doesn't happen, bro.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
really just that's a mirror. That doesn't happen in life, man.
hey, I don't understand why
That
people don't
happens in
do it,
like the
man. It's not
NFL,
hard.
man, because they have
It's
non-guaranteed contracts.
right. They should work
In
on
the
it. They should work on
NBA,
it.
I mean, what you think they're gonna make it a longer contract than 4 years? I mean, that would be crazy.
Nah, I would say
Yeah,
just
it's
take some money.
50 million
Take some
next
money.
year, 53, 57, 61. I don't understand why they signed him to 4 years, and they did this after they got Harper.
Yeah.
They signed him
Well, no,
to
they
his
did
contract.
before. They did before
I
because I
think.
think this is when they had Chris Paul. They got him. They got him when they had Chris Paul. I think they gave it to him then because this is Harper's
Oh,
rookie year right
messed
here.
up on that.
Because I think he got it last year because they had Chris Paul and Fox last year. They traded for him.
He signed the extension August 4th, man. August 4th of last
Yeah,
year.
before.
So this is after they got Harper. I mean, they got the number 2 pick. You got
Yeah,
Castle on the
draft.
team. You got Wimby on the
Yeah.
team. You know these guys are going to be getting max contracts, and they have Fox signed out even longer than any of their rookie deals. Wow, I thought it was a 3-year. This is
I don't think they was expecting to
this is
have Harper to be that type of player. I think that's really what it was. I think they was really thinking that he was gonna have to, grow into his role, but that man came out a whole different person. Like y'all was expecting him to be this. No,
he's that
y'all
type
thought
of
he was.
player and more. And he was the number 2 pick, man. You got to figure that. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe you're right, but
Yeah.
man, they screwed up.
That money
Uh,
talks, I guess.
that's rough. Well, I wear this Aura ring. It like tracks your health and stuff. And my wife sent me this message today that the collective sleep scores, it tracks your sleep and stuff. The collective sleep scores of the people of New York dropped 10 points because of this after the Knicks championship.
Oh man, that is crazy. That
And their heart
is
rates
crazy.
all went up right around 11 p.m. last night or whenever,
Oh yeah,
whenever that
I believe it.
final quarter. Yeah,
I believe
yeah,
that.
kind of funny.
It's only the Knicks fans, man. It's only the Knicks fans. I think they really were more nervous than anything because of the whole series, and they got too excited, especially with that game 4 where you know, they came back and they were down by 30 or 29, and they came back and won it. So that that made it. I feel like the Knicks fans like, since we won this game, we came back. We're gonna win the next one in San Antonio. And that was another thing too. The Spurs did not win not one game at home. They did not win one game at home. They
Yeah,
won
weird,
one
huh?
in New York. They won one in New York,
Yeah, they
but New
lost
York
all 3.
took over. I feel like that was a real thing far as for New York to win both of those games in San Antonio. That's what gave them the leeway to win this title, because they knew that they're gonna have to play a good team, a good crowd, a loud crowd, and everything. But those New York fans came to San Antonio to make noise and help them out. So it was kind of hard for them not to just like let the pressure go down from the crowd. So they took advantage of it. But I feel like the New York Knicks fans, they traveled all over wherever they played, and it made it so much easier for them to win the title, because they had so many fans all over, from Atlanta to Philly to San
That's a really
Antonio.
good
Like,
point. Yeah, that's a great point, Doug. I can't remember fans traveling like this for any other playoff series.
yeah, yeah.
I can't. Nothing's. I mean, the Lakers
Cowboys,
win
Cowboy
was in the
fans.
bubble, so there are no fans.
That's the only thing I can
Who?
think of. Cowboy fans. That's the only thing I can think of, as far as traveling all over the place.
Right.
That's
Yeah, but
that's
in the NBA, I just can't think of.
I don't see it.
Yeah, because they were so prevalent, and that was such a story at every game. Like, yeah, good on the Knicks fans. Also speaks to just how much money there is in New York, how many
Exactly.
celebrities hail from
Exactly.
there. But obviously, it's much more than just the celebrities that you're seeing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a pain in the ass to be playing there, and you want everyone's support, and you're hearing boos or cheers for the other team. Yeah, I'd hate that as a player. So good on you, Knicks fans. Yeah, you're helping create your own luck, as Mike Brown would say. So.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, Doug, I just wanted to ask you about your thoughts on the playoffs, like as a whole. Like, what are you going to remember? What are some standout moments? What kind of pops your head about this year's playoffs, 2026?
Uh, number one is Knicks winning the whole thing, them blowing out the Eastern Conference. Just giving belt to
Oh
butt
yeah,
to everybody on the East, and just making it so easy for them to go to the championship. And then on the West side, it was a lot of fighting, a lot of game 7s, a lot of everything. Far as okay, losing to the Spurs, that was everybody's thing. Everybody was wanting OKC not to win the championship, which they got that, but It wasn't the Spurs that won it. The Spurs did give them a run for their money. Wemby did, surprise a lot of people, but he fell short in the finals. The Celtics was one, them losing to the who they lose to. They lose to Philly, right?
76ers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
first
and
round.
then me, yeah, losing to them, wasn't expecting that, Paul George and, Embiid played a little bit enough to help them win that series. But after that, they played against New York. They couldn't do nothing with that. But, it's a lot of teams that's going to make a lot of moves and try to change up some things. But it was a good finals. Just surprised with a lot of the outcome and everything.
Yeah, you're
What about
surprised
you?
that the Knicks won it.
Yeah, yeah. I I was surprised, definitely surprised with that.
Yeah, I think the Knicks, as I said before, they have a little bit of that knucklehead factor with Cat, and that showed out in those last two games. Cat had got in foul trouble. He even fouled out last game. Had some duds of games, but I think they had just thoroughly kind of destroyed the Spurs' will, especially when you have a 30-point comeback. And so it didn't matter. Any that last final game was anyone's for the taking. And this series was close. Every game was close. If that game four, if they don't make that comeback, which happened in, all throughout the second half, but really was down to the final seconds. If a shot's missed here or there, maybe it's a tie series. Maybe the Spurs are feeling better about themselves and they win at home. So even though the Knicks really routed the East, it was a close finals. But Jalen Brunson, man, he's a winner. He's the first guy since Magic Johnson to win high school, college, and NBA
Yep, yep.
championships.
But he got
Yeah,
two on for the
guy's
college
a
though.
winner, man. Yeah, two in college. Maybe he'll get two in the NBA. We'll see. Let's talk a little bit about trades, free agency. We got all that period coming up soon. Of course, the first big thing is the Giannis trade. Looks like the Bucks are probably gonna pull the trigger on something. I think the Celtics, apparently the Heat made an offer. We're not sure what they offered, and the Celtics are apparently in the mix. So, Doug, I want to ask you if you're the Celtics and first of all, would you trade for Giannis? And second of all, if you had to trade, one of Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum, which Jade do you trade?
It would have to be, I guess, the Finals MVP Brown. You know, he's been good
Why?
for
Why does it
them
have to be Brown?
because I feel like that's what they would go with because I guess from the podcast that
But
he
what
had
would you
and
do,
all the,
Doug? What do you think they should do?
I guess I would do Brown too to get Giannis. I mean, if we're trying to win, Giannis would make it better. Tatum with Tatum, and I feel like they would mesh better as far as with Jalen because both of them are aggressive when it comes to going to the hole and everything. But Brown is not a full dribbler, good well with dribbling and directing everything. So I feel like it would be better if you keep Tatum in instead of Brown. But it's not my call. I can't make the calls, but that's what I would have done. But it's going to be interesting to see what the Knicks, not Knicks, but the Celtics end up doing because if they do decide to get Giannis, I heard too, if they do get Giannis, they also might get Bobby Porter too. Bobby Porter's he'll be added on with that trade.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Well, I mean,
they
I,
would need
I
that
don't
though.
know why.
That will work out for them though. That will work out for especially for the
So
Celtics
they
because
have
they need
three
another.
power forwards on their roster. Then
Tatum will be back
Jason
at the
Tatum
three.
basically plays power forward.
Yeah, but he'll be
Yeah,
he'll be back at the
that's
three.
true.
He'll be back at the three though. So they'll have it like that.
Uh, okay, but let's break this down a little more. So I think Jason Tatum is a slightly better 3-point shooter than Jalen Brown. So he
Uh,
can spread the floor a little bit. He's a little bit better passer, so he can help a bit with playmaking. He kind of profiles a little more like Chris Middleton, kind of like a
yeah,
jump shooter, basically.
yeah,
So maybe that's good. Jaylen Brown, though, is I think more of a two guard, which if you're thinking about positions and you got Giannis at center or power forward, you still need that really good guard. He can drive to the hole. I don't know, man. I think there's an argument for keeping Jaylen Brown now. Who means more to the city? People are saying Jason Tatum means a little more to the Celtics, and that's a factor you got to think about. You got to appease your fans.
Right.
But basketball wise, they're kind of like you were saying. They're both drive to the hoop guys, Jaylen Brown and Giannis, and maybe a Jason Tatum is a little better because he can kind of play off of Giannis as
Right.
like a shooting, like kind of Chris Middleton's role, basically. That really
Yeah.
worked for the
Yep.
Bucks back then.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, I
But if he
guess
goes to
I was just to say
Miami though,
I think there's an argument.
yeah. But if he goes to Miami though, with Miami trading for him, the one person that they're definitely going to get rid of is Hero. I feel like they probably would get rid of their big man Ware for Giannis, and then probably one more player with a draft pick because Giannis is worth it all. So they'll probably try to do that. And I think I heard too that Miami is trying to get Russell Westbrook to play with them too next year.
Oh God. Okay, yeah, that's gonna give me a headache. Let's not talk about that. But but the Heat. Why wouldn't the Heat trade Bam Adebayo, man? Like
I mean, the 83 points. They're not gonna trade that.
Bam for Giannis?
They wouldn't do it. They want to keep.
I mean, they
They want to
basically
keep Bam
play the
with
same
Giannis.
position.
Yeah, but like I said, Bam would be playing center, and Giannis would play the power forward because they would play.
I would
They would
just
play
play
together on the
Giannis
floor.
at center. Yeah, I would just play Giannis at center. I would almost keep Hero because now his defense isn't going to be as big a deal with Giannis roaming the paint.
Yeah,
Play Giannis at center. Get Bam. You got Khalil Ware there who can play center. He can play next to Giannis, I think. He shoots threes.
yeah. But you got to think about the
I
value.
don't know. To
The
me, that
value
just
they're gonna
seems.
get. That's the only reason why that.
Well, yeah. If I'm the Bucks, I wouldn't take Bam out of bio. I mean, I don't know what
Yeah,
that gives me if I'm the Bucks. Like
yeah,
Bam is
yeah.
a great kind of
And then they
role
got Turner.
second sort of option, but
Yeah, but it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work as well if he went there. Yeah,
well, I do think that the team can vastly change. So if the Heat get hold of Giannis, they can change all the parts, like you're saying. They could bring in Russell Westbrook. I definitely wouldn't do that, but they can bring in different guys and really change the role players around Giannis. So you don't have to think of it as just the Heat players as they are now. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, if he just came on that team now, I mean, I don't know that even puts them in the top 4 in the East.
Never know. It just depends. I would say I would wait till before the season start to figure out what everything, as far as like trades, signings, and all that stuff, that will really determine on who makes the trade for Giannis. Another trade that I heard, Kawhi, and then also we got to know where LeBron's going to. So LeBron's another person that we forgot to
Kawhi
talk
for
about.
who? Kawhi where?
Uh, they had like three teams, either Golden State or either going to Miami too.
Yeah, I could see him in Miami. Golden State, like a dump off with their their bad contract,
Yeah. Uh,
with
Snap!
Jimmy Butler's contract.
Got news.
Yeah.
I just got news on the Bulls hoop head coach. It was
What's up?
the it was the ex
Breaking news.
ex internet Thiago Splinter is the coach for the Bulls.
Oh wow, the ex Trailblazers coach. Wow. Yeah, they didn't want to pay him, so he's leaving. Well,
Yeah.
what did the Trailblazers do at coach?
I guess they got looked for one. Well, because their coach he was just covering Chauncey until the whole situation that had going on. So I don't know if Chauncey's still coming back, or either they might have to look for a new coach.
Wow. Well, one thing we were saying about Tiago is, if he tells you to do something, he can probably physically enforce it as well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He's a big dude, man.
he tall, very tall, very tall. But it's gonna. Well,
He's not gonna
yeah,
get
we gonna see what he
choked
does.
out by anyone.
Nah, he ain't got to worry about nobody with
Uh,
in us.
yeah. Well, that's interesting. I think that's a little sad for the Blazers, but they're laying their own bed there with their cheap
Yeah.
owner. That's good stuff. But there's also another big trade rumor about Charlotte Hornets, Doug. You want to tell the people?
They talking about trying to get Sabonis to bring him to the city. The the trade was talking about doing Miles Bridges and probably one of the top picks that we got. I kind of I kind of you know I'm not too fond of it because you know Sabonis is he's getting older, and then we're getting rid of a younger player in Miles. I I told somebody this before that I felt like Charlotte should have got Sabonis a long time ago when he was in Indiana. He was ready to leave then when he was playing with Indiana because it was him and Turner, and then they wasn't really meshing together. But I felt like we could have traded a Mark Williams for him instead of doing that, and he would have helped out a little bit more. But I mean, Charlotte's trying to change up the culture, trying to do something different. But Sabonis is a bona fide player. He's a good lefty. I'm not mad at that. But he's a very good with it rebounds. He averages at least 12 rebounds per game. And then when it comes to assists, he averaged at least 6. He can do it everything. He gets his skills from his dad, man. If y'all don't know, his dad played for Portland, and he was a beast. I remember him playing with him, Damon Stoudemire, Bonzi Wells, and Rasheed Wallace. They were out there hooping. So he was. They gave the Lakers a run too, also. So you know they were really supposed to win
Yeah,
that
they
game,
did.
but
Arvydas
one out.
Sabonis. He was like a
Yeah,
superstar in with Russia.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He was definitely a superstar. He
he
was
was
skinnier too. He was
he's one
very
of the
skinny when he
all-time
was in.
best international big men.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
skinny when he was on Portland.
Nah, he wasn't,
He
but
was
he
a
used that
beast
body
there.
though against Shaq. He used his body against Shaq though. That's one thing I can't say.
Yeah, he could kind of hold up against Shaq.
Hmm.
So looking at his son's contract situation, he's got 48 million next year and 51 million in 2 years. So he's still got 2 years left. You know what? Frankly, it's not that horrific of a contract. And 2 years to try him out. He would answer some questions for the
The
Hornets,
rebound
right? So give us some low post scoring, give us some more creativity and shot creation from the post in terms of
and defensive.
playmaking. Yeah, I think he's a bigger big man than our current guy in terms of covering other centers. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
but I feel like if they
I don't
if
know.
they
Do you
do
think
trade
they play
Miles,
him with Moose or
that's what I'm
yeah?
thinking.
If they
Because if you
trade
get rid of
Miles, do
Miles,
they play him Sabonis with
you're gonna
Moose?
have to.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have no choice but to, because it's not gonna be him and the rookie. It won't be him and the rookie playing together. It would have no choice but be him and Moose. But they're gonna have to see how the defense is gonna change up. Because I mean, you're gonna have one player that can shoot, one player that can't shoot. But Moose has been practicing on his jumper and everything working out. So I mean, he might end up this year, might well not this year, but next year end up shooting a lot more. But he will be a hustler for the team, getting rebounds, playing defense, and everything. It's just it's just hard seeing Miles leave when he's been there for the longest out of everybody, and he's one of the he's up there in leader in points for the franchise also. So, it just, sad to see him leave if he does leave. But right now he's still a Hornets for right now. But we're gonna see if Charlotte pulls the trigger on that trade.
yeah. It'd be nice if they could keep Miles. I think Miles was exposed a little bit in that Orlando game as being a little too small to guard Paolo.
Hmm.
Of course, we all knew that. We've seen that before. But of course, I love the energy he brings. He has a lot of competitive spirit. It'd be nice to be able to keep him. I agree.
Right.
I think he could play well next to Sabonis. So who knows what'll happen? But that's one of the rumors coming out. There's also rumor of Trey Murphy going either to the Pistons or the Pacers. Those teams are interested. Yeah, he would fit real well with either of those, especially the Pistons. He would be a huge. The Pacers kind of have some good 3-and-D guys, but the Pistons could really use a Trey Murphy. And apparently the Pelicans are willing to trade him.
Yeah.
What do you think about Austin Reeves? He's due for a new contract, and there's
Yeah.
rumors that the Nets are going to make a big offer. They'll offer max money.
Yeah.
As a sort of new Lakers fan, I say let him go. I wouldn't pay Austin Reeves the max. I think he is a great player, great getting to the rim. I'm impressed by him, but for the Lakers and their makeup, having a Luka and an Austin Reeves together is just a bad recipe on defense.
Yeah. I mean,
The
but
Lakers
the
need
Lakers
to
do want
be
to keep
thinking
him.
about defensive first players.
Yeah. Yeah. The Lakers, they
Yeah,
do
but
want him
a
though.
max contract.
That
I
would
just
cut
don't
out
think he's
them getting
worth a
any
max
free agents.
contract.
No, I
Exactly.
mean, because I think with the max contract from Brooklyn, it was like 185 if they would have did it. But I think if he does it with the Lakers, I think it's probably might two. I think it might be 2 mil or something like that. I think it's higher than that if they offer it to him.
Well, maybe if it's only 185, I think you're closer to like that 45, $46 million range. It's a little more palatable. Still a little too rich for my blood, I would say, and also just doesn't work with the makeup of the team, with a Luka Doncic dominated team. So I would just let him walk.
So you
Take the
so you trying
money.
to say
You're
two white men
LA.
can play them?
You're a free agent destination. What's that?
Is that what you're saying? You're saying two white men can't run the league, run the Lakers organization?
Oh, no, Doug. No, I'm not saying that, Doug. I mean, if they
Oh,
got Alex Caruso, I think he would fit in like real well, man. Like he's the 3-and-D guy that the Lakers need. It's not
but
about
they got
skin
rid of
color,
him though.
Doug. Gosh dang.
They got rid of him though. The Lakers got rid of
I
him. They had him.
know, I
They wanted
know. And
to ship
that
with
was
him.
very silly. It
They
was a
wanted to
silly
replace. They
move.
wanted to replace
Yeah, they got rid of
Austin
him to
Reeves.
get your boy Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was it.
that didn't work out too well.
Nope, it didn't.
Wondering, do you have any other trade rumors you know about?
Uh, that's the only ones I really know about. I heard, unless we get some surprising ones over the summer and everything, but not with those, not anymore that I could think of. It's just I'm really trying to figure out where LeBron's gonna go to. So that's the thing, that's gonna determine a team too, like what they're gonna be, how they're gonna turn out, especially if he goes to either Golden State or either go back to Cleveland.
Yeah, it kind of like in my mind, it's one of those two, but who really knows? Maybe he makes a super team with Giannis and in Miami or
And,
something.
oh yeah, he could go back to
I was
Miami.
listening to some,
Nah, I just thought about he
yeah,
ain't
I
gonna
was
go back to
listening to some
Miami.
interview from his girl won't let him. I assume he was talking all right because of Riley. They had kind of a bad little breakup there. But I was listening to an interview with LeBron recently, and he's like, oh man, you have to have a really strong willpower as a 25-year-old in Miami. You gotta have a really strong-minded.
hmm And
Yeah,
Miami
I
is
imagine that. With all
as
that
far as
money
shooting.
on South Beach,
hmm
it'd be a lot of fun.
No,
Hard to get up for that 4 a.m. Workout session.
exactly.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, what do you think? Who do you think the Wizards should pick, man, with the number one pick? Would you go Tabonsa or Darren Pearson or someone else?
Uh, for the Wizards, I feel like they need to go ahead and get AJ. He would fit in better. And I just thought about this too. If they decide to get rid of AD, they might try to trade him to make space fit for them to create with him. But if they keep AD and get AJ, I feel like they might be up in top four, top five for the Eastern Conference, just because they got
Whoa,
AD
really,
and
Doug?
Trae Young. Yeah, yeah. I mean, because if you look at their
You think
team,
street
they are
clothes is
jumping
gonna make a difference, Doug?
to street clothes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
his nickname
if you
because
look
he's
at it,
always in street clothes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but they ready. I feel like they would be ready though, because Trey is a hooper and he loves to facilitate the ball. So with him having elite scores with him, it's gonna make it a lot easier for him to pass the ball and then get his shots open and everything too. So if you get the ball to AJ and let him do what he needs to do, he'll find Trey. Trey can shoot the three ball. Get the ball to AD. AD get doubled, then pass the ball out for the three ball to Trey or either AJ. And then on top of that, they got the other center. He's gonna grow, especially he works out with AD. AD get him right, you know, being the leader that he needs to be. Get everybody in that same mindset of being a champion. It will work out. It will work out, but it's going to be up to the organization if they want to keep AD on the team.
Well, does AD want to be on the team?
I don't know. I ain't got to talk to him yet. Not playing. But I mean, he wants. I guess
All
he
right,
wants to be
call
on.
him up.
He
Let
wants to
us
be on
know, okay?
the. He want to be on the winning team though, but I feel like he could make that team a championship team if he plays and stay healthy and work out how he needs to work
It's a
out
lot of
correctly.
ifs, Doug. Yeah, he
It's
hasn't
always
been healthy in so long, man. It's a wash for me.
yeah.
But hey, let's close out by doing our top 5 performers of the NBA playoffs.
All right.
All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, why don't you start off?
We're going from 5 and down, right?
You want to just do your number 1, then I'll do my number 1.
Okay. Well, number one, he's behind me.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson. That's my choice too. Just what incredible playoffs. What an incredible clutch performer. What a winner. He deserves it all. Jalen Brunson
The way
yeah,
he
he's the
carried the
most
team on his
memorable
back.
top performer of these playoffs.
Yeah, yeah, definitely did. And I give it to him. I mean, from playing with Dallas and leaving to go start a whole new dynasty and franchise with a whole new team and everything, and then deciding to, take a pay cut to get his boys on the team with him, and that's the true leader, like just making sacrifices and everything, and in the playoffs he did make a lot of sacrifices by giving the ball to other people and trying to let them work out so he can get his time to get everything together, but in that last game, he carried everybody. Not everybody was scoring on the team. Cat only had 2 points. And Jalen just said, "Let me go ahead, just give me the rock. I got y'all. We going to win this game, and I'm gonna make sure we do that." 45 points from a little man on top of that. So
And he did that
Jalen
in
just
like
keep giving.
all 5 games.
Right,
Oh yeah, but
right. Just
yeah, you're right, man. That 45 is huge.
yeah, that definitely was. All right, so who you got at number two?
All right. I'll go with my number 2. I'm gonna go with this is gonna be a surprise, everyone, but I'm gonna go with Cade Cunningham. Cade just really impressed me. He just leads that team on Detroit, puts them on his back. Defense, offense, playmaking, playing, with one of those Thompson twins. They can't shoot for crap, and it's a lot to put on. It's a lot to put on your point guard in these day and age. Not having the 5-out spread out, and Cade still, for the most part, was getting it done. I know, he didn't get past the second round, but we should all remember what a leader he was, and battles with Paolo Banchero and others. I got Cade Cunningham as my second top
Okay.
performer.
All right.
Who
All right.
you got?
Number two, I'm going with Wemby. Wemby had a good run. He surprised everybody with with that first game against the OKC Thunder. It was very surprising. He did what he needed to do to get that win, and that also helped them win the whole series too. He's just very, very dominant. I'm just, I was appreciative. Like I said, it was between him and Chet, and as I told you, that was going to have to step up in that series, and he stepped it up and made sure that Chet wasn't going to get another championship. That, but he didn't get his, but he did what he needed to do in that whole series, especially against Ant Man too. So he played a good series.
Yeah, he really dominated Chet and those earlier series. I'm just his kind of lack of a go-to move. I don't really kind of remember what happened in those earlier series because he was dominating, right? But man, he
Hmm.
just didn't look good in these last few minutes. Just mistake after mistake. Dribble, 1 minute left. He dribbles the ball off his legs in the first game. Second game, he passes to someone's backside. Even in this last finals game, he caught the ball like in the paint and passed it out like in the final minute. Just
Yeah.
brain fart after brain fart, missing 2 free throws in game 4. Just mistake after mistake. And, obviously he's young and needs to mature a little bit, but he's still incredible. 7'6", just tapping the ball to himself around the rim. All the alley oops or standing oops or whatever that you want to call them.
Yep.
Fox just gets to throw it up, to the sky somewhere, and Wimby will catch it. He was awesome. He's my number 3 playoff performer. Who you got as your number 3, Doug?
All right, for my number three, I'm gonna go with um, excuse me, I'm gonna go with Ant Man on for my number three. He played well in the series. He gave Joker and them a run. I wasn't expecting them to win. I was expecting the Nuggets to win that series, but Ant Man really showed it out, and he had also had teammates to help him out. Even though he got hurt, he still played through injury and helped his team with that one. Who you got at number four?
Yeah, Ant-Man, especially the way he came back from that injury and still kept playing well. That was impressive. That looked like a weird weird thing he did to his knee, man. It's hard to think back to it.
Yeah.
So props to him. But I still want Ant-Man to be a little more aggressive in those final minutes, put the team on his back like these guys like Cade and Brunson are doing, and I feel like he doesn't always do that.
Hmm.
And we've gone, each of us, 3 players deep, and no one has mentioned the MVP yet. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously, still an amazing player. Spurs had his number a bit in that last series, but it still went down to 7 games. Could have been anyone's at the end, and SGA, one of the top 3 scorers in the playoffs,
Yep.
and amazing at getting those free throws too, of course. Mr.
Yeah.
Free
And you
Throw
got him at
Merchant
four.
incarnate. So I got SGA as my number 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's number four. All right, but number five, I got at five, I got Donovan Mitchell. I got him as number five because he did a lot, especially with James Harden not stepping up. He had no choice but to be the same player he's been doing since he played last year in the playoffs. Taking over, doing what he needs to do. He put up a good run with Celtics. I mean, not Celtics with Detroit. It's just when he played against New York, it was a whole different ball game, and New York had their number, and they spread them out and dissected them one by one and figure out who they need to take out. I mean, but Donovan, he really had a real good season. Just next year, we'll see what he does next year, and if they get LeBron, if they get some help, or if they make a trade or something. So but I give him number five.
I love Donovan. I wish him the best. One of my favorite players in the league, but he was exposed a bit on defense, and I'm not going to pick him on my top 5. Instead, I'm going to go with a guy who was number 1 in win shares, number 1 in box plus minus. Holy moly. And a game 4 NBA Finals hero on offensive and defensive end with 2 incredible plays that Knicks fans will remember forever. OG Anunoby. OG averaged more than 20 points per game, man. He shot near 50% from the 3-point line.
In the free
And
field
like
goal.
I said, the top playoff performer in all the advanced statistics. He's the man, and he's my number 5. What a performance.
Yep. Either
Might be
him
the
or Jalen
best
probably
power forward
actually.
in the league, Doug.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
If
right.
if
You're right.
Giannis if Giannis ain't if Giannis is injured, he might be the best power forward in the league, Doug. What do you think of that statement?
Hey, might be right.
All right. Well, he's my top 5. I think I just want to mention a couple wild cards. These are guys that we don't think much of, but they really showed out in the playoffs. First of all, Tobias Harris, he was scoring like 20 per game, and really as a second creator for those Detroit Pistons. I was really impressed by him. He didn't show up too good in that last game, but otherwise he was getting it done up to that point. And then also Rui Hachimura, former Wizard, gets taken out at the end of the game inexplicably in the Lakers final game, but shooting close to 60% from three. I just wanted to shout out my boy Rui.
All right, America. That's our top five playoff performers. But Doug, as many listeners well know, he is a left-handed baller, and he likes to keep tabs on all the left-handed players. He's got one right behind his shoulder if you're watching on YouTube. So we're going to do our lefty lean-in segment. Who are your top five lefties of the playoffs, Doug?
All right. So I'm gonna go with De'Aaron Fox. You know, he didn't do too much in the finals, but through the playoffs, he did step up and play his role and, helped out for them to make it to the finals. It was just, you know, it was just one that the injuries of him, his ankle and everything, it played a part in most of the series. Didn't really get to see the fast, quick spots that we usually used to seeing due to that injury to his leg, so with his ankle. So, that affected most of his gameplay. A lot of people say, if you can tell when he played, like he did a lot of shooting more than driving. So I mean, he's not he's not that's not his game. So, but hey, he was trying to do his best to help win, but it didn't happen. Number number four, I'm gonna go with Julius Randle. He definitely helped out with Minnesota, making moves, especially when Ant got hurt. He helped out and adjusted with the team, get them situated, and help them also when they played against the Nuggets and help them win that series. Number three, I'm gonna go with AJ Mitchell from OKC. He was he definitely hooped before he got hurt. Definitely helped them against the Lakers. I mean, no, against the Lakers, against a lot of other teams. But he also definitely did a good job. Number two, I'm gonna go with
Well,
Dylan Harper.
I like that pick, Doug J. Mitchell. Yeah, I had forgotten about him. He was big against the Spurs too
Yeah,
in those first few games. Yeah.
yeah, before he got hurt. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go with number two. I'm gonna go with Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper definitely did come off the bench and do a lot for the Spurs. Definitely in that last game, he had 24 points off the bench, only person to score for the Spurs bench in that last game, and definitely took care of everything. But number one, I don't have to say anything. He's behind me. The MVP, the champion himself, carried his team on his back and did what he needed to do to win the championship. So shout outs to all my lefties that had a good season. Next year, we're gonna see if we have more lefties in the league playing in the finals or in the championship games or anything.
Yeah, lefties really shined in this playoffs, Doug. If it wasn't for De'Aaron Fox put a little third in the situation in those last few games, it would just be a lefty reawakening or something, man.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely would have.
But yeah, some say that that's how Jalen Brunson can make all those moves as people aren't ready
Yep,
for him because he's got the left hand
yep,
going.
he
All
definitely
right,
can do it.
well, thanks for that, Doug. And
It's been a great playoffs. Been great doing this with you. I had a lot of fun. I think we'll hopefully keep this going a little bit in the off season, hitting you guys up
Yep,
with some big trade talk, and maybe even do some NFL
draft.
stuff when the NFL comes around. So
Oh yeah, oh
yeah,
yeah.
and hit you with some draft stuff. So thanks everyone for listening. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for staying with us through these playoffs.
Hey,
We'll
hey,
keep dropping dimes on you. All right. Peace out, everyone.
peace.